Well, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tyler's Real Fishing. Today's episode is definitely the most requested video I've ever received to do on my channel, and that is talking about the topic of college fishing. You guys see it on my channel all the time. You guys probably want to be involved, but you have no idea how to be involved once you graduate high school and get into college. That is exactly what this video is for. So this video is going to look very, very similar to the video I just released on high school fishing. So if you missed it, it'll be linked up here in this corner. Again, that video applies to you guys that are still in youth fishing or high school fishing, aren't quite in the college phase yet, but still want to get involved in tournament bass fishing, and click up here in this corner if you missed that. Also, if you guys like the content that I put out on this channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button and the post notification bell as well. Those are two very, very important things on my channel. So what all is involved? What even is college fishing? So let me give you first a very, very brief history on tournament fishing. If I say something wrong or historically inaccurate, let me know in the comment section below. I apologize, I got this off of Wikipedia. So the first ever BASS Federation tournament was held in June 1967 on Beaver Lake, Arkansas. A total of 106 anglers from 13 different states competed. In that All-American Bass tournament, Ray Scott, the tournament director, basically discharged a $100 entry fee with the chance to win $2,000 and a trip to fish in Mexico. The winner of this first tournament was Stan Sloan. In the high school video, I said that I didn't think Stan Sloan had ever gone anywhere, but it turns out that Stan Sloan went off to, I think, start his own lure company. Pretty cool stuff. Then Scott staged the first Bassmaster Classic in 1971 at Lake Mead, Nevada. And the cool thing about the first, I think, 6 classics was that they were a mystery lake. So the guys fishing the Bassmaster Classic had no clue what lake they were fishing until they got there, which I think is a really, really cool scenario. Of course, nowadays the fan base is too big. We have to tell people where the tournaments are going to be in terms of planning. Basically, they would just hop on the plane, and Ray Scott would tell them, hey, you're going to this lake. And so everybody would be on the exact same playing field. So I kind of love what Major League Fishing is doing nowadays with not telling their guys until like the day before what lake they're going to. And since that time, we've seen the rise of Forrest L. Wood and the Forrest Wood Cup and the FLW Tour as a whole, the PAA, which has kind of since gone by the wayside, and the TBF, and many, many other regional tournament trails across the nation. But practically for the first 50 years of tournament bass fishing, it was really only for adults and maybe for kids that had parents and grandparents involved that they could kind of get, ushered into. And then in 2005, Bassmaster hosted the first ever college fishing national championship, to which I think 7 or 8 teams showed up. So it was very, very small. Not a whole lot of exposure. Nobody really knew what was going on, but Stephen F. Austin, University won the first ever college fishing tournament. One of my buddies that actually owns 6 Sense Lures won that championship, and his prize, kind of a cool backstory, his prize was a custom paint kit. And so that's how 6 Sense Lures got created. Was he won the championship, he went back to his dorm room and started painting custom crankbaits. So that was pretty cool, but the tournament was then won by Arkansas Tech, Virginia Tech, Arkansas Little Rock, and North Carolina State in 2009. And then by 2010, the Cabela's College Series was fully underway, and the FLW Series launched its first ever tournament. In around 2009-2010, high school fishing was also gaining massive speed, but I went over all that growth in my high school fishing video. So again, if you missed it, click up here in this corner. And now college fishing has thousands of anglers across the country, and Bethel University recently won the championship in 2018. So now that we know the history, what exactly does fishing in college mean? Well, for many colleges and universities, I think the definition varies, but across the board, it stays very consistent. And what I mean by college fishing is what I'm involved in, what you see here on the channel, 3 videos a month or so, is tournament bass fishing. Now, if fishing, in bass tournaments doesn't exactly appeal to you or apply to you, that's completely fine. It's not for everybody, but that's what this video is going to be about. I know colleges across the country have fishing clubs you can get involved in that don't require you to fish the tournaments themselves. You can just go out and catch fish with buddies. But what I'm going to be describing today is tournament bass fishing in a college scenario. And so there are many questions that I get asked kind of addressing this topic. So I'm going to go into as much detail as possible for you guys. Here we go. Now, the first question I often get asked is, Tyler, how do I know if my college or university has a bass fishing team? That's a great question. And the best ways to find that out are either searching for, let's say on Google, Texas A&M fishing team, or on Google, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. If you don't find any information there, pay a visit to your school's athletic department or your student activities office to kind of inquire there on whether or not they know if you have a team. But Tyler, I did all that, and I guess my college doesn't have a team. Does that mean I can't fish in college? Definitely not. That is not the case. So just like I talked about in my high school fishing video, you can actually create your own college team. And it really, if you look at it as a whole, it's a relatively simple process, but can definitely become difficult depending on your university's student organization rules. And so linked below will be the instructions for how to create a bass fishing team at your college that allows you to fish the BASS, FLW, Cabela's, and the rest. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going over those steps, really any time going over the steps at all, because you guys are college students, you're adults, you can follow directions yourself, and if you really want to fish in college, you're going to figure out how to make it happen. I know a lot of universities make it harder for you to start a organization than it is here at Texas A&M, but if your desire is to fish in college, you're going to make it happen. Now, everything I've discussed so far is pretty consistent between most colleges and university fishing teams, but here's where it gets tricky. Not all colleges run their programs the same. So some, like Bethel University, have an official program sponsored by the school, a full-time coach that travels with the team, he coordinates housing and finances, and they have team bass boats. But most schools like Texas A&M, where I go, we are a lot less official with our involvement with the school. We don't have a coach, we don't have a budget from the school, and we don't give out any fishing scholarships yet. Yet is the key word, hoping to change that. So if you are looking for a college to pursue fishing at, I have done all of the hard work for you by compiling basically a list of every single major bass fishing team in the nation and how their teams are currently organized. I spent hours and hours organizing this sheet for you guys, reaching out to every college angler from every corner across the country to get you guys this information. So if you go down the description below, you guys will find a Google sheet or a Google document that basically lists, I think I have over 40 colleges, and of course this is not extensive, there's plenty of other colleges out there. This is over 40 of the main schools that I could think of and get information from on college fishing. And so I'm going to take, for example, kind of show you guys my screen grab here. I have many different columns on the information. I have, the college with the team, location, whether any enrolled student can join, dues, scholarships, expenses, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go across the row and talk about Texas A&M University, which is where I go. So here's the college, Texas A&M, location, College Station, Texas. Can any enrolled student join? Yes. There's no tryout process or what's the term? Recruiting process. Is the team free to join? No, it's not free to join. Technically, there are yearly dues for the team, but they're like $50 a semester, so you're really not paying a whole lot. Are there scholarships available for the fishing team from the school? Not currently. Does the school pay for any expenses? Not currently. And if so, what expenses are paid? Not currently. Does your team have a coach? No. Do you have to have a boat to fish? No, but it helps, and I'll discuss that later on in the video. And then who can go to the tournaments? Anybody with a partner. And so that's kind of the whole goal of this document, is to show you guys literally all the information you need to know about the team to help you guys make a decision. Now, this list is definitely not complete in terms of college fishing teams around the nation. So if you guys are watching this video right now and you realize that your school is not represented on there, please email me at tylersreelfishing@gmail.com to let me know kind of the answers to all of those things, your school name, where you're located, whether you have a coach, all that jazz. And if you're watching this video several years down the road, or even fairly recently, and you realize that your school information is not exactly correct in terms of your team, so whether you lost a coach, gained a coach, your school is now giving scholarships or they took scholarships away, make sure you guys email me that information as well. That way I can be the best resource possible. And also, there is a recently created service called TopTierFishing.com, and that basically helps connect high school anglers that are serious about college fishing to potential college fishing teams and coaches. It's 100% free, so if you can't get a hold of any people or teams from the document I created below and through Google, make sure you guys use this TopTierFishing.com, because I think they have a lot of information that could be useful for you guys that are serious about college fishing. And that link will be in the description below as well. So at this point, I feel like I have to be real with you guys for a second and discuss something really quickly before we dive any deeper, and that's kind of about college in general. And so college isn't for everybody, and really shouldn't be. There are tons and tons of high-paying jobs in America that only require a high school diploma and maybe possibly a year of trade school. And so I feel like in America right now, we're pressuring all of our kids and all of our friends to go to college, and college fishing is kind of turning into the same thing, where a lot of kids are going to college just for fishing, and they're not really thinking about the education and the finance portion of it. And so if you're sitting there in high school right now, you're a sophomore, junior, or senior, and you're thinking to yourself, Tyler, I don't really want to go to college. Please don't feel pressured to. And if you go to college, please do not go to college just to be involved in college fishing. That is a very, very bad choice, and I'll explain why here in a second. If you choose your college based solely on their fishing program and not on their academics, you might be messing up your financial future in a huge way. So instead, what I did is choose a school that matches well with your personality, has the right amount of involvement and opportunities for character development, and also has at least 1 or 2 majors that the school is kind of known for that you are interested in pursuing as a full-time career after college. It's a sad reality, but professional fishing is a dream. Not everybody can be a professional fisherman, and a lot of people try and a lot of people fail, and that's just the reality of it. And so if you're going to go to college banking 100% on being a professional fisherman after college, go for it. Pick Bethel, pick Campbellsville, pick whatever school is going to give you a scholarship. But for the majority of people, especially people like myself, I don't know that I have the skills to be a professional fisherman, at least right after college. I know it would take me a long time to kind of build up my skills to be where they are at, and I know that I could do it. I have the confidence that I could, but I'm not confident enough to go to college just for, to be a professional bass fisherman and not worry about the academics. That's not where my mind is focused. I don't know if I could go to a college just for the fishing team and not worry about the academics. I feel like that's my personality. You could be completely different. Maybe you know that your plan A, and that's your only plan, is to be a professional bass fisherman, and you're not going to give up on it, then go for it. Go to a college bass team. As a matter of fact, if your plan is to be a pro bass fisherman, bar none, I would say just skip college as a whole. And I know parents out there are probably shuddering when I say that, but I've had many buddies that didn't even go to college. They just went straight to the opens after high school if they had the money and the sponsorships available, and they're successful now. And so that's kind of what I wanted to say, is that if you're going to go to college, think about it first. Are you going for just the fishing, or are you picking your school based on academics as well? All right, so the second big topic I get is, what do college fishing tournaments look like? College fishing tournaments work 90% like professional bass fishing tournaments do, just with college students. So to fish at college, all you have to do is 1, be a part of an eligible registered fishing team at your school, 2, have a fishing partner, and 3, pay your yearly memberships and show up and fish. It is literally just that easy. So I'm going to go into more of the detail with that here in a second. So once you and your partner show up for the tournament, you usually fish from sunrise until 3 p.m. or so, depending on your boat number that day. Then you'll come in and weigh your bag of fish in front of a crowd, hopefully a mega bag. The team that wins gets a certain amount of money based on the event type, and that money goes back into your team's fund for you to do with as you please. Now that team fund could be run by the team, or it could be run by the school. Ours at Texas A&M is run by the school, and so if we win any tournament money, it goes into our school account, and then we can do with it as we please. So I think the school takes a certain percentage of the money, which is a bunch of crap, but that's how it goes. And then we can either give the money back to the team as a whole, or to those individual anglers to spend how they choose. And for almost every single college tournament, the top 10% of the tournament field also qualifies for the national championship in that respective trail. Now, the cool thing about college fishing is that it is still 100% free to compete. There are no entry fees. This is basically the highest level of competitive tournament fishing in America, in which you can still fish for free. And this is really helpful, especially for college students who don't have a lot going for them in the bank account department. Now, as I mentioned, there are some membership costs associated with fishing BASS and FLW just to be a part of the organization. And I think those are like $50, each for the year. So it shouldn't be a whole lot to fish in college. And there are 3 established fishing tours that I know of, and that I have friends that fish, and those are BASS, the same organization as the Elite Series, FLW, same as the FLW Tour, and the Cabela's College Fishing. And so all 3 of these are super fun tours, but the only ones that I really fish, or that I invest my time in, are BASS and FLW, and here's why. Bassmaster has 4 regional tournaments across the nation that are basically open tournaments. They're open for anybody from any region to join. So if you live in Louisiana and you want to fish the Northern Regional in New York, you actually can. Now, the top 10% of each tournament after 3 days of competition advances to the national championship later that summer. And so at the championship, of course, even more money is available for the winners, but what you really want is to finish in the top 4 boats. And if you successfully do this as a partnership, you will fish a March Madness style playoff bracket called the Bassmaster College Bracket until one singular angler is left. That angler will win a wrapped boat with your school's colors on it, a wrapped truck to use for the preceding year, and you will get all of your Bassmaster Opens entry fees paid for. And after that, to top it all off, you will get to fish in the Bassmaster Classic for free. So that is the Bassmaster Tour. It is definitely the most popular tour for college students because, of course, we all want to make the Bassmaster Classic one day. Now, the FLW Tour is slightly different. Instead of 4 3-day regionals, we have 3 one-day regionals that are actually regional tournaments. So, for example, here at Texas A&M, we have FLW regionals in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, and New Mexico. Now, we've never gone to New Mexico, but they are technically in our region. And so at those, again, the top 10% of anglers, not graduate, advance to the FLW Championship the following summer, where the goal is, of course, to win, not get a top 4. And then the winning pair at the FLW Championship will pair off against each other on the 4th day of competition, and the winner of that gets to fish the FLW Forest Wood Cup. Now, the most frequent question I get in terms of traveling to these tournaments is, how do you pay for it? So the most frequent question I get in regards to traveling to these tournaments, because of course, in college fishing you travel quite a lot farther than high school fishing, is how do you pay for it? Well, some schools, like I mentioned, are starting to offer huge fishing scholarships and provide large amounts of funding for their team. So I'm talking like full-ride scholarships to their school. They pay for your gas for your boat, your truck, your lodging, your food, your rods and reels, literally. Teams are paying for everything, but not every team is like that. So while it sounds really appealing to go to a school like that for bass fishing, it is still rare and it's very, very difficult to get onto one of those teams. So for guys like me who chose to go to a school with no current funding, everything is basically paid for out of pocket. So all gas, lodging, food, lures, etc. must be paid for by the college angler ourselves. So the way that we pay for that at A&M to get as many anglers in the water as possible is by fundraising. So this could take many forms, but for us, we collect dues at the beginning of every semester to kind of be a part of the team. That helps pay for, the whole team to travel. Then we sell t-shirts to family members and friends and hold fundraising tournaments for other schools to come to. That way we can make money for our school to travel to the bigger tournaments. So in doing some of these fundraisers, as well as working possibly a part-time job in the fall when the fishing season is not as strenuous, you should have no issue paying for the sport. Now what about sponsors, Tyler? I see high school teams have jerseys with lots of sponsors on them, so don't college teams have sponsors as well? And the answer is yes. But one thing I've noticed is that sponsors on high school teams, as I've mentioned before in the previous video, are mostly local businesses. And so their incentive for giving money to the team is getting local advertising, and they help out with the team with some financial compensation. So let's say you'd have a burger joint giving money to the high school team, a salon giving money. That's what my high school did. And so it's just like businesses supporting your local football or volleyball team. But college fishing teams are a little bit behind on this front. I've noticed that most college teams' jerseys basically have sponsors on them that are just product discounts, so rods, reels, lures, that kind of thing. But I think a lot of teams are starting to catch up to high school in that regard in terms of acquiring local businesses, and so is Texas A&M. This year I think we're adding 3 or 4 local businesses to help us fund the team. So a few remaining questions that I have not touched up on. Hopefully I haven't lost my voice at this point, but is there a limit to how many tournaments you can fish? Nope, you can fish as many as you want. Bassmaster, FLW, Cabela's, all that jazz. Do you have to be recruited to fish in college? I get this DM all the time on Instagram. Tyler, do I have to have a college recruiting me to fish? So as I've mentioned, most teams don't even have tryouts. You literally just show up and fish. And so if you show consistent effort and skill in your craft, someone's going to choose you as their partner in their tournaments. And so if you have your own boat, you of course get to choose your partner. So how neat is that? Can you fish the tournaments alone? People keep telling me that you can't fish tournaments alone. But at every single tournament, I see somebody fishing alone. And so that's probably some special circumstance, but I don't exactly know why. Now just get a good fishing partner because you want to have 2 lines in the water at the same time. Even if the dude has never bass fished, just teach him how to hold the net and net your fish, and you'll be better off. And the last question is, do you have to be a full-time student angler to be eligible to fish? Yes, but to be honest, I don't know how they check that because I don't send them like my transcript or anything to show them that I'm a full-time student. So I don't know, but the answer is yes. So I think that is it. I know that was a lot of information. So if I talked fast, didn't make any sense, please leave a comment down in the comment section below, letting me know what you guys thought about the video. I really do think this is the most comprehensive video on college fishing ever made on YouTube. And so I just felt like, as a channel, I needed to be the first one to make this video. So once again, if you are looking for a college fishing team to join, whether to pursue a college, you're in high school right now, or whether you are in college right now looking to see if your college has a team, make sure you guys access the Google Doc listed below. And of course, if I missed any information on there, shoot me an email with your team's information. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing and hitting the post notification bell down below and sharing this video with all of your friends that are interested in college fishing. My goal is to be your location for information on college and high school fishing, and hopefully this video helped you guys become more acquainted with the topic. So my name is Tyler, this has been Tyler's Reel Fishing, and we'll see you guys next time. Whew! Time to go to class. That's also another thing, going to class as a college student. I gotta go there right now.